More storms roaring through southern Wisconsin. Our continued team coverage starts right now at 6.
This is News 3 at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Severe weather dominating the headlines once again.
Several rounds of storms today, one prompting numerous tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's get right to meteorologist Dave Caulfield with the latest forecast. Dave?
Well, Charlotte and Eric, continued active afternoon and evening across southern Wisconsin. More rounds of rain and thunderstorms on the way, this time a little bit farther to the south and east. Our second line of showers and thunderstorms setting up diagonally from northeast of Watertown north of Watertown in Dodge County. You could follow that line south and west as we continue to get additional radar data. That storm by Platteville is worth watching, and we're going to continue to monitor it closely. A little bit of rotation showing up in that and possibly some gusty winds. So we're watching that very closely over the next couple of minutes. So here is our high resolution Doppler track loop over the last 3 hours. You can see the storms have weakened slightly since the last hour, especially that second round, but the bulk of the thunderstorm activity still in Iowa as that continues to move to the east and northeast. We definitely don't need any more rain, especially for south central Wisconsin, areas of about 10 to even over a foot of rain not out of the question. You can see the bulk of the severe activity still in Iowa as that continues to move to the east, but multiple more rounds of rain are on the way, possibly for southern Wisconsin. Here is future Doppler track over the next 3 hours. We can see that some more thunderstorms possible. Right now, our latest model guidance has the heaviest rain staying to the south generally for southern Wisconsin, but we can't necessarily take that as gospel because a lot of these thunderstorms can create their own fronts and their own kind of weather systems, so to speak, and that could change the models over just a span of a couple of minutes. A live look in Madison, a little bit of clearing in those clouds, but also some raindrops. Day planner for tomorrow looking much better as the rain chances get out of here. We'll have another look at the radar and track these storms through the night in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave.
We have continuing team coverage of the damage and upcoming threats in Juneau County and Sauk County. Several roads closed right now, particularly around Waniwak. It's pretty bad in that area. A sinkhole forming off Highway 33, completely impassable. And in the town of Waniwak, West Street is buried under about 20 feet of water right now. The Baraboo River just 300 yards away, so they are getting a lot of runoff from that as well. 12 residents were evacuated. No injuries reported so far, but it's almost impossible for residents to get in or out of town. In Waniwak, crews also took out a jet ski there to rescue a woman who had been trapped in her home surrounded by floodwaters after she refused to leave her home when evacuation started happening. She eventually did make it back safely to dry land.
We have more video from Juneau County. Hundreds of Coon Valley community members had to be evacuated overnight as floodwaters rose above 5 feet. Coon Creek, which is usually about 10 feet wide, swelled on the west side of the village as the rain poured overnight. The basements and first floors of some homes in the surrounding area quickly flooded. And this video also from Coon Valley shows how bad the rain was and the subsequent flooding, leaving cattle stranded in the middle of the road.
Baraboo staying alert tonight. A flash flood warning is in effect there, and rains are starting to come through that area. They have been throughout much of the afternoon. Amy Reed keeping an eye on things there for us this evening.
Another round of rain just made its way through Baraboo. That's after more rain earlier this afternoon. It felt like it was coming down in sheets. It filled up gutters along the side of the road, and that caused quite a problem for drivers. Some parts looked like water reached completely across. Remember, you're advised not to drive through water like this because you can't tell how deep it is, and it doesn't take much to stall or overpower your car. We're still keeping an eye out for flash floods and thunderstorms in the area. Remember, with those, it's hard to predict exactly how much rain will fall, so it's best to just stay alert and be ready.
Amy Reed reporting. Areas to the north of Sauk County are seeing a lot of rain, and that's worrying many along the Baraboo River who will see the delayed effects in the form of flooding. Amanda Quintana shows us why emergency management is encouraging residents to prepare now.
Not easy for us. Not easy for us have this happen again. When Olga Engelstetter heard about the possibility of her neighborhood along the Baraboo River flooding, she immediately thought back to 2008.
Terrible flood over there. We have water here in the other side and the Jefferson Street, and we need to evacuate.
She's hoping this time it's not as bad.
We have homes that'll have water in the basements, especially. There could be some homes that have water coming up to them. We definitely will have businesses right on down Laval, Reedsburg, and on down Rock Springs, North Freedom that will most likely have to do some sandbagging.
Sauk County Emergency Management is predicting flooding along the Baraboo River this week because of what's happening upstream.
A tremendous amount of rain. I had 10, 11 inches to the north of us in Vernon County, Monroe County, and those areas. So it's got to go someplace.
Emergency management says the river is expected to peak on Thursday or Friday.
Right now, it's about 12 feet, but could go up to more than 22 feet by then, and that's before tonight's rain is added to the mix.
The real thing is we have no dams, nothing to control the Baraboo River, so it just is a free-flowing river.
The best they can do is make sure those along the river are aware and prepared.
I am so worried about my neighbor here because he's very close to the river. My other neighbor here is very close to the river too.
Olga ready to help out her community that knows all too well how bad it can get. Amanda Quintana, WISC News 3.
Sauk County Emergency Management is monitoring Lake Delton and the Wisconsin River as well, but the main worry is the Baraboo River. The other two are not as big of a concern. With multiple inches of rain are expected in the Madison area over the next 24 hours, city leaders are on high alert.
Mayor Paul Soglin says we've been lucky to avoid the rain that did hit Juneau and Sauk counties last night, but now is not the time, he says, to be complacent. Rose Schmidt, the news center, to tell us how the county and the city are both preparing. Rose?
Well, Dane County staff are continuing to lower the level of Lake Mendota and cutting up weeds to speed up the flow to Lake Monona. That's been pretty effective so far. And Mayor Soglin says their main concern right now is the areas prone to flash flooding or the areas close to the lakes. They're shaded in blue and purple on the map there. The Tenney locks are operating just fine, but the amount of rain we get in Madison and to communities north and west of us will help city leaders decide whether to take action over the next day or so.
The lake levels are high and it keeps raining. And the concern is that the release rate will have to be increased out of the lake, the Tenney Dam, probably tomorrow.
That release of water will likely lead to more water on the isthmus tomorrow, so if you see water levels increase downtown, do not panic. That's planned by the city. And if you live or work on the isthmus, get valuables out of your basement, use sandbags when needed, charge your phones, and most importantly, stay out of those floodwaters.
Rose Schmidt reporting at our news center. Rose, thank you very much.
If your home or business was hit by floodwaters, you should be on the lookout for mold. Public Health Madison and Dane County officials say if you can dry out flood damage within 24 to 48 hours, you're likely in the clear, but after that, mold will likely grow. You should wash affected surfaces with a mixture of bleach and water. If your entire basement is affected, for example, you should probably call a restoration company, but there are other factors to consider as well.
It depends on the material that's being affected. You know, if you have drywall that has mold spattered all over it and water damage, you're probably best off just cutting that damaged material out and replacing it.
If you rely on well water, the county is offering free test kits for people impacted by flooding. Your well could be in danger of contamination.
For the latest information on today's storms and the forecast, check out our Channel 3000 weather and traffic app for up-to-date forecasts as well as all the road closures. Also, it's all for free. Just search Channel 3000 in your app store. Still ahead tonight at 6, your updated forecast, including what to expect for the Madison area.
But first, a family demanding justice. Find out why protesters were outside the Rock County Courthouse today. Welcome back. Freak Fest organizers today announced its full music lineup for the October Festival on State Street. There will be 3 stages with several acts on each. We have the headliners and performers on channel3000.com, and tickets go on sale Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Friends and family of Robert Thomas Jr. are continuing to protest.
Comes after the Rock County District Attorney David O'Leary chose not to press charges against the woman accused of stabbing Thomas to death. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter in our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with the very latest. Adam?
Well, losing a loved one is never easy, and today friends and family of Robert Thomas Jr. meeting outside the Rock County Courthouse to protest how his case is being handled. Now, it was just last week that 20-year-old Serena Stone was arrested on suspicion of reckless homicide, and this came after she took Thomas to the hospital after allegedly stabbing him in the chest. Rock County District Attorney David O'Leary said that due to Thomas's history of domestic abuse, there was reason to believe Stone acted in self-defense. Thomas had been arrested multiple times for similar charges. Today, family saying that's not the Robert they knew.
My brother, you know what I mean, was a type of person that was, you know, real caring. Like, he had his flaws just like everybody else, but if he knew you, no matter what race or nothing like that was, he loved you, and he, you know, he would make you, he would brighten your day, you know what I mean? I mean, within a couple seconds.
The district attorney's office declined to comment about the investigation, but said they would be meeting with the Thomas family later this week. And as for Serena Stone and her family, we've been trying to get into contact with them with no luck so far. But it's a case that we are definitely going to be continuing to follow here in Rock County.
All right, Adam Duxter in Rock County. Adam, thank you. More to come tonight at 6.
When we come back, we'll have an update on the risk of flooding and your latest forecast. Stay with us. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joins us now. And have you had a moment to catch your breath?
Yeah, just a few. Just a few. Maybe a little bit of some sips of water in between breaks. But luckily, the atmosphere catching its breath just a little bit. We've noticed a little bit of a break in some of those showers for southern Wisconsin. That first round now heading into the state of Michigan, causing some tornadoes in upper Michigan. And we can see that we do have another line of showers and thunderstorms on the way. Flash flood warnings, severe thunderstorm watches. No severe thunderstorm warnings right now, so that's the good news. We are watching that cell that is now to the east of Platteville. You can see a little bit of a notch showing up with that, so we're continuing to watch for some rotation. Generally, this line is moving to the east, but the individual storms in the line are moving to the northeast. So that could track very, very close to Madison as that moves into Dane County. So some heavier rain is possible in spots. Really not a big line of heavy rain right now, but that could change as conditions do develop. Local storm reports really located along that line of that tornado-warned storm earlier on this afternoon. Lots of tree damage, lots of flooding showing up in Sauk County, especially northern Sauk County. So that's something to consider. Also, north of the Dells into Marquette and Green Lake counties, a report of a tornado and another report of a tornado closer to Fond du Lac. And there's just nowhere else for this water to go at this point, folks, because we've had so much rain from Viroqua to the Dells, spots north, all the way north of Watertown to Lake Michigan. You can see that large stripe of about 10 to, in some cases, it wouldn't surprise me, about 15 inches of rain over the last couple of days. We still do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the counties you see shaded in pink. It's hard to tell. There's so much going on our severe weather bulletins map here. That goes until 9 this evening, so for the next 2.5 hours or so. We are watching this next line as it begins to fill in. Much of the heavy rain is still located in Iowa. That's where some severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings are right now. So this is not over, folks, as this line continues to move to the east over the next 3 hours. The question becomes, the stronger thunderstorms are still in Iowa. We know that. But as this line begins to fill in, how far north and east do these stronger thunderstorms go within that line of thunderstorms? So we'll be watching that very closely. Still have to remain vigilant, at least for the next 2 to 3 hours. We still could see some drops of rain into early tomorrow morning. Live look in Platteville, we did see some rain about 15 minutes ago, just some ominous clouds off in the distance. That one cell in question has moved past Platteville. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, no rain showing up just yet, but on our future track, we could see this line of showers and thunderstorms in some capacity is going to move through Dane County and Madison this evening. We know that. We just don't know how severe it will be, how much of a flash flooding threat it poses. So we're watching that very closely. Then into tomorrow, some additional showers and thunderstorms, possibly just showers, into early tomorrow morning. Then we finally get rid of the rain on Wednesday into Thursday, with temperatures staying pretty cool for this time of year over the next couple of days once we get into Wednesday and Thursday. Precipitation potential anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2 inches, but really that doesn't mean much for the areas that have seen so much rain. So we'll continue to watch this. This is just a guidance at this point. Just know with humidity levels like we have right now, 1 to 2 inches of rain is nothing compared to what the atmosphere has been capable of doing over the past couple of days. So if we see a line of thunderstorms come through, don't be surprised if 2 to 3 inches fall in the span of 30 minutes to an hour. That is definitely not out of the question. 60 for tonight. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and cooler. We do get rid of our rain chances. Quick look at the 7-day forecast, looking at things calming down for Wednesday and Thursday, but more rain chances and thunderstorms come back late Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, it's August, but it's never too early for basketball season. We'll hear from Greg Gard on this year's Badgers in Sports. Only 3 days till the Badger football team opens its 2018 season against Western Kentucky at Camp Randall. Don't forget, it's going to be a late start, an 8 o'clock kick with the game televised on ESPN. That first game of the season, you never know what you're going to get. You think you're prepared for it, but until you're in it, you're just not sure. This week, redshirt freshman Scott Nelson was named the starting free safety. He watched all last year, and now he'll be coming out of the tunnel for the first time ever as a Badger player.
It'll be a little different than my last high school game. But it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it, really looking forward to getting out there to play and get my feet wet. I'm not trying to hype it up it's my first game in a year and a half. Like, we're just out there playing.
I still get jitters the first game, so yeah, you definitely have to try to calm yourself in whatever way you can, but it's always different that first game of the year.
The Packers' short week means their final preseason game is Thursday night at Kansas City. That, too, is a little later kickoff, 7:30 p.m. at Arrowhead Stadium. The Packers used their first 2 draft picks on cornerbacks this year. Their first rounder was Jair Alexander from Louisville, and their second rounder was Josh Jackson from Iowa. So far, they look like they could play right away. Jackson has had a knack for the interception in return for a touchdown, just ask Alex Hornibrook. And Jackson's already returned 1 for a touchdown this preseason for the Packers. He's enjoying life in Green Bay.
Whenever you're having fun, it means you're not really, stressed about anything or worrying about nothing. You're just out there playing ball and playing fast. And at this level, that's what you need to be confident and just play fast. When I was younger, I played many different sports. So I think it's just kind of, just having the hand-eye coordination to be able to, see the ball and judge the ball where it's going and just be able to get your hands on it and just, know the ball.
The Brewers have just started their game in Cincinnati. Junior Guerra is pitching for Milwaukee. The Brewers are holding the second National League wild card by a game and a half over Colorado, starting play tonight. It won't be that long till the basketball season starts. The Wisconsin Badgers have their first exhibition game at the Kohl Center in a little over 2 months. The Badgers, of course, missed the NCAA men's basketball tournament for the first time in 19 years, but Ethan Happ didn't go to the NBA. Brad Davison had shoulder surgery, and Demetric Trice and Kobe King are recovering from their injuries. Head coach Greg Gard looking forward.
Every team has to go through some type of trial or some type of test that goes on, and obviously ours lasted. We played pretty well at the end of the year, and I was really proud of how our guys took off at the end of the year and matured and developed and used that experience that they got throughout the season to continue to fight and continue to battle. And they've had a really good offseason. I know it's been a great experience for them. Having almost everybody back is exciting.
Darren, how are you ready for basketball season?
Football season coming up quickly, but Greg Gard has the UW has kind of a special fundraiser this week, right? Guarding Against Cancer, right?
That's this week?
Yeah, that's this week. Came up fast, right? I think it is. Am I right?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? We'll check it. We'll check that and get back to you.
Doing something.
Was he? Okay.
I'm sure you're...
We'll check on it. Okay. Final check of the weather.
Yeah, we're checking the radar right now. We've been checking it for the past 4 or 5 hours or so. High-resolution Doppler showing that second line of showers and thunderstorms moving closer and closer to Madison. So look for some heavy rain possibly over the next hour or so, especially where you see those shades of red, orange, and yellow. This continues to move to the east, but individual storms are heading to the north and east. So heavy rain and strong thunderstorms in Iowa. It's just a question of how far to the north and east did those go before the whole line pushes to the east. We'll continue to monitor that into the evening hours because some more heavy rain and even some severe weather could be on the way for some of us. But we definitely don't need the rain. We don't want the rain. Hopefully it misses us for the 3rd time.
Yeah, we really need a lot of preparation underway. We'll have the latest at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.